to make Shabbat different from the rest of the week? That's interesting. Awesome. Katerina.
So yeah, as I was discussing with Marina in our small group, I was thinking that probably this is gonna be the first Shabbat that I will totally pass at home, since I'm in a sort of self-isolation since I came back from abroad to Italy and I cannot go out, even for supermarket. So it's gonna be a really intense Shabbat, and first time like staying at home all the time. Even I mean, I think it's gonna be like different, and I will try to maybe I mean, we have more time to follow more, maybe reading a parasha or candle lighting. So it's gonna be interesting for we can dedicate actually more time to what it is, since doing our normal life we can.
Beautiful. Thank you. Ilan.
Yeah, so in our pair we were talking about how, or not so much in pair, I was saying how usually I don't really celebrate uh, Shabbat when I'm away from home, but when I am home, we would always, or we will light the candles and bless the bread and wine. So yeah, I guess in a similar way to what Matthias was saying, in this isolationist world that we're in at the moment, it's a chance to sort of reflect and look at Shabbat in a different way, I guess, almost.
Nice, thank you. Would you be able to tell us how it is different? You don't have to if.
No, of course. Just in the sense of physically, practicing it. Now that I'm back home with my mum and brother, we will actually, light the candles and get in proper challah to make a prayer on. So yeah, in that sense, it is different. That I wouldn't do if I was living away from home.
Beautiful, thank you. Mama John, we can't see you, but we'd love to hear you.
I thought you'd unmute me. Sorry, I was just making Friday night dinner. This Shabbat is very different for me because it's the first time I'm spending Shabbat with EUJS in over 30 years. So this is really cool. But it's really great. I'm just loving, seeing what you guys are doing, because we're at the WC with Andras. We're looking at how we can do things for our communities and help them to be creative. And you guys are being very creative. So I'm looking and learning. Shabbat Shalom.
Awesome. Great lesson from this special Shabbat. Naomi.
Yeah, so we talked with Alina, and somehow we both said that Shabbat is somehow for us together with some events where you're in a group of people and with the community. And about this situation, we were both really excited and astonished how the community really reacted to all of this, and everything is almost online, and it's possible for more people to reach it, in my opinion. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Alina, do you want to add anything?
This is really, really lovely, and I've been very impressed by generally the Jewish response to the situation. And I thought, I'm really personally not struggling with the alone time as much as perhaps other folks are, but I felt like if I'm going to be joining anything regarding, Jewish responses to the current situation, Shabbat with EUJ seems like a great moment. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, Sami, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
I talked with Alessia about the Shabbos. We said that it's a very special Shabbat. Maybe Alessia can afterwards add the sentence that she mentioned, that you read before. I just said that very special for me because of this whole Corona situation. My mother, for example, can join this Shabbat. Usually she's working until late, but because of the Corona, she's not working, so it's so we can celebrate together Shabbat. Very nice to be back in Vienna, and that's very special for me. Maybe Alessia, you want to add to the sentence that you mentioned?
Yeah, no, just a quick sentence. So today I was reading like an article, and it was saying like how is like Shabbat different from all the other days of the week if like we're home, we're all together and stuff. And so it was really nice to see, well, in this case, the article was more talking about a religious person, which means like in the sense of a person who keeps Shabbat. So it was saying that in one sense, like even if we're all together connected in the same house, like for Shabbat, we kind of disconnect from the outside world. So all the news and what is happening, and we reconnect with the family. And I thought it was a very nice image.
Thank you very much. Well, it's interesting. Well, thanks to Sami and Alessia. It's interesting that you're talking about this idea of reconnecting with the family. Some of you might have heard that the Pope, Alessia, yeah, he's from your country. Well, it's a different country, but it's like he also shared that message. Well, because Italy was obviously the first to be hit really hard after China. And so he said that in the Jewish tradition, and well, as it says in the Bible, and Jews have been practicing it for centuries, there is this one day a week where you reconnect with family. And he said, well, this is now the time to kind of live that Shabbat throughout the whole week. I don't know if I totally agree with that perspective, because for many of us, obviously, the idea of Shabbat is precisely sharing it with other people, friends, and many of us are in confinement without their family. So I don't know how. I personally did not connect to that teaching, but obviously for people who are with their family, it is very, very special for Shabbat. Next, Bini.
Yes, sorry, I was just unmuting myself. Like honestly, like I currently, as you might know, I live in Brussels at the moment, but I am in Vienna right now. And although I love my job and I love being in Brussels, but the one time a week where it's really hard for me to be in Brussels is actually very often Friday night. Because I really enjoy spending Friday night Shabbat with my family, being at home, seeing my family and friends and stuff like that. So that is really the one time a week when it's hardest for me to be in Brussels. And now I'm in Vienna, and actually for the second Shabbat in a week, which is the first time that I'm in Vienna for the second Shabbat in a week for quite some time, actually since I've started being UGS president in a way. And like I would have suspected that would make me feel happy and would make me feel at home, but it is very different because right now I am in Vienna, but I don't really feel like as if I were in Vienna because of the situation that is happening with Corona, and I'm anyway spending like most of my time with my family right now, but not with anyone else, unlike in the rest of my life. So that has been quite a hard transition for me, and that has really changed a little bit what I expected. But on a different note, I decided, and that's why I will also leave very soon, to do an experiment this week, because normally I don't keep Shabbat, and I'm not sure if I will keep Shabbat this weekend. But I actually decided, because I spend all my time at home and like work from home and like I'm home all the time, that I will try to like disconnect as much as possible from the visual world in which I spend 99% of my time being awake right now, and will actually try to disconnect this Shabbat to immerse myself in things that I normally don't find the time in my rather hectic life to do. And like this is the lesson that I'm going to try to make this Shabbat, and to like really spend some time reading and thinking and stuff that I normally don't do. So this is my goal. So on that note, because Shabbat starts in Vienna in 2 minutes, I would leave, but I wish you all good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, and thanks a lot, Ephraim, and thank you all so much.
Thanks for joining. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, Benny.
Shabbat Shalom.
Andras, what can you tell you if you could share your thoughts with us about this Shabbat? Andras, yeah. So if you have any thoughts about how this Shabbat will be different for you than other Shabbat, we'd love to hear it. And if not,
I thought you heard, but
no, I didn't.
sorry. So I put the online the Hadudi version, but it didn't work apparently. So yeah, I was watching Kabbalat Shabbat already from one of my first rabbi, Biggie. And yeah, I mean, just crazy to see different virtual Shabbats. I already went to a Reform Kabbalat Shabbat in Israel and one Masorti. So yeah, I'm just amazed.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Naomi. We'd love to hear what you have to say about this Shabbat. Naomi, actually, is it the Naomi we already heard?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'm here. About this Shabbat. Well, since I'm in a host family and there are 3 kids right now in the moment, and we're preparing a surprise for the mom that the 4th child will come back from US. And I'm the only one and the father knowing that he will come today. So I think it will be a lot of talking and relaxing and seeing each other after a long time. And it will be different because I'm far away from my family and they're in quarantine in Germany and in Slovakia, and I really can't go there. So in this time it's hard that I have to be on my own, but at the same time I do not keep Shabbat, so I know that I'm gonna talk with them for a longer time, so that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Very unique. Thank you. Sarah, if you have any thoughts to share with us, we'd love to hear them. Sarah, are you here? Fine. So, Ellie, are you with us? No, okay. Patricia.
Yes,
okay, Ellie. Yes, thank you. So, yes.
Yeah, hi guys. So for me, this Shabbat will be different, in a whole different dimension. Usually I go Shabbat, I go to my synagogue, see all my friends, I see everyone. And this week I'll be alone. I'll be at home. But I think there's a different element this week, is to try bringing the element of Shabbat in the synagogue at home. To sing all the songs of Kabbalat Shabbat together with my wife and my kids and bring this type of element to Shabbat. That's how I look forward to Friday night.
Beautiful. Thank you. Natalie, so we're speaking here about how this Shabbat is going to be different from our usual Shabbats. Do you have any thoughts to share with us?
Hi, first of all, I just joined a few minutes ago. So thank you for this. I was just attending. It's actually pretty cool to be able to attend few different sessions. I just came out of a Shabbat meditation, which was amazing. So I'm already in this Shabbat mood. Your discussion, it's definitely going to be different. First of all, I haven't really seen the sun today, so that's I guess one. But the second, usually to spend time with my friends. It's like a tradition. We have 4 or 5 friends that we always go to Shabbat. We either go to the university, or we go to the Jewish Student Union, or we just make a Shabbat at home, or we go to Moshe house. However, this Shabbat, this is not possible. And usually for me, Shabbat is about friends. This time, however, Shabbat is more about family, because actually now we decided we're going to have Shabbat at home. I'm lucky enough to not, although I don't live in the country that I come from, I still have family also here in Vienna. So this is where I've been spending this past 1 week. And I'm actually very happy, and I see it as a chance. I see it as an opportunity, and I see it as a beautiful thing to actually be able to spend time with them, and it makes Shabbat really special for me.
Awesome, thanks for sharing. Is it my internet that's slow? or is it Natalie's? Did you all
Maybe
hear?
maybe it's mine. I don't know.
Okay, perfect. No, I'm just wondering if it's mine, then I have to ask for people to turn up their own. Okay, fine. So we're having here real diversity of experiences and thoughts, and that's really nice. You know, for many people, it's a good thing or something special. For other people, it's more of a negative thing. Now, Sarah, Patricia, Luca, Jay. I don't know if we heard Danielle. If one of you wants to share your thoughts, we'd love to hear them. If any of you is here. Okay. Fine. So,
I wanted to share a little bit of what
Okay.
is my impression.
Sorry, Miki.
So I was like, when I had this conversation with Ephraim about what is the meaning of Shabbat when it comes to social distancing, should we come into a digital community even if we are Shomer Shabbat or not? I had a lot of like inner struggles, and like now after like the first week of working like from home and having been connected and over connected every day, having to be on Zoom calls every day at every point, like being on the phone because it's the only way of contacting to the outside, I have to say like I'm really looking forward to self-isolate a little bit, and I feel I need this self-isolation for the weekend to a little bit recharge my inside to be able to reconnect after Shabbat. So in the beginning, it's really funny because I thought, for sure, like Shabbat is about bringing community together. So if you need to reconnect with your community, just use technology. And now I just feel like I need to get away a little bit from technology and try to do Shabbat as itself.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing with us. So, like Mickey and many of you said, like you actually all said, that this Shabbat is going to be very different for many different reasons. Now, I have a friend at the Paris Moshe house. Her name is Irene. She's Brazilian. And she, from the start, said, whoa, we can't go out of our house in France this week up to, I think, today. We were able to go out if we had to go for a run, you know, just to do a bit of sport. And she said, well, look at that. We can't study because this week they didn't have university studies. Next week they are. But we can't do anything. We have to stay home and do stuff that we like and go for a run. I don't know how she's going to feel about the confinement in 2 or 3 days from now, but that's how she was going about it this week. And she said, I was sitting on the floor in my dining room, and because there was a ray of sun and I wanted to sit in the sun, and I was looking at the door of my room, and I saw my room in a perspective that I had never seen beforehand. And she said that next week she would love to take pictures of like around her apartment from different angles that she hadn't thought of previously. That's really interesting because I don't want to sound like those teachers say, this is what Shabbat is all about. No, Shabbat is all about what you make it for you. But this is a very interesting perspective, because if we look at Shabbat in the Bible, it says that God was doing things, he was constantly creating, and then on the day of Shabbat, he ceased to create, he rested. And so there is a very powerful transition from doing into being. So it's not about doing, being active, and then not producing anymore, not creating anything. No. It's the idea of going from a place where you have to be doing things, where you're busy, you cannot just stay still and not be creating things, to move into a state of mind where the sages say, Shabbat kol melachtecha asuya. All your work has been done, which means you can look at all the prohibitions of Shabbat as a very heavy burden. don't do that, don't do that, whether you respect them or not. We all have different levels of observance, but look at Shabbat in the text. It sounds like a very harsh day. You're not allowed to do a gazillion things. But the sages say the state of mind you should be in is that kol melachtecha asuya, all your work has been done. There is no reason for me to do things. I'm good. I don't have to move around. I don't have to create another thing. I don't have to go do whatever we each of us do in order to feel good. We have to transition into being, experiencing the moment. And this is a very interesting point because this means that Shabbat is usually the day, of fun, of chilling. And this week it might be actually a day of work. It's going to be the day where we might want to work on ourselves in order to slow ourselves down. And as we all realized that with this week, for us in the world we live in, to be confined to one house is it makes a real difference from when we're active in outside of our homes. And for many of us, we look for things in order to keep busy. And Shabbat will be the day when we can try to work on not look for things to keep busy, maybe to read a book, or it can be also speak with a friend over the internet if that's what you want to do. But the idea of try to transition into being. Obviously, there's no magical switch for that. But this is, in the Bible and in all of Judaism, you have big ideas, and we all try to live them at however the best we can. So I suggest we go now over to the next and last part, which will be singing Shalom Aleichem and lighting the candles. Shalom Aleichem is the song welcoming the angels at home. Now, the question is not whether you believe in angels or not, because I personally don't. But I do think that all of these ideas should not be discarded from tradition, because they're actually expressing a message. And here's what the sages say. When you come back from synagogue Friday night, right, because that's the Jewish person that the sages imagine, the angels come back with you. If they see that your bed is made, if they see that your table is set, they give you a blessing. They say, it shall be the case next week. And then you have two angels, one a good angel and a bad angel. And this is what the good angel wishes, and the bad angel has to say, Amen. Now, if I don't believe in angels, why am I telling you this story? It's because the blessing, or in other words, the ability, the motivation to do this, to reproduce this positive action that you did, setting your table or whatever it is based not on how the person is behaving outside of the house. I find it very interesting that they come with you to your house. They say you're coming from synagogue, but they don't give you a blessing based on how you behaved at synagogue. They come to your house and they see if in your house you set the table, if you were able to introduce this Shabbat into your home, whether physically or metaphorically, and that is what will motivate the blessing or the energy to be able to bring this into our lives more and more. With this said, we will now sing Shalom Aleichem, and Miki, is it you, is it me that is sharing the link for the lyrics? Whoever wants the lyrics of Shalom Aleichem. Miki, is it you, is it me?
You can share it yourself, Ephraim, you have it.
So it's actually very simple. It's a Wikipedia Shalom Aleichem. Where do I share it? In conversation? No. Yeah, conversation.
Yeah, share it in the chat so everyone can have it.
Chat, perfect. So if you click on the link, you'll have the words of Shalom Aleichem in Hebrew, and underneath that you'll have the words of Shalom Aleichem in English.
So I'm gonna unmute everyone now so we can hear everyone singing together. I advise it's gonna be a huge mess, and also it's gonna be really nice at the same time. So feel free to scream, to sing all together, and to sing and to feel this ruach from before Shabbat.
Yeah. Thank you, Miki.
So Ephraim, we follow you.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Shalom Aleichem,
Shalom.
Malachei Elyon, Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch
Shalom,
Shalom Malachei Let's do that again. 3, 2, 1. Bachuni l'shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon, b'melech malchei hamelachim. Now the fourth paragraph. Etchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, Awesome.
Awesome.
And so now we're going to end this call with candle lighting. As I said, whoever does not use electricity before Shabbat, then I suggest you light candles after you turn off your computer, but bear with us for the candle lighting. And for the rest of us, we'll light candles right now and recite the blessing, all of us together.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay. I've got here my, oh, it doesn't work. This is actually, oh God, they don't work. Oh, it does. Fine, but you can't really see them, can you? Fine. Well, believe me, it's there. So the way it's usually done, it's we cover our eyes during the blessing so that right after that, when we take off our hands, we see the light as if it was lit after the blessing. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat Kodesh. You open your eyes and you welcome the light of Shabbat, hopefully into our psyche, our emotions, and be able to, I won't say to rest, be able to be rested and spend a good Shabbat, all of us together, even though we're physically apart. Shabbat Shalom. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Ephraim for the session. Just reminding you, we are going to do the Havdalah together with Base Berlin tomorrow at 7:30.
Shabbat Shalom.
It will be lovely to see you all together tomorrow.
Shabbat Shalom.
And again, Shabbat Shalom, Ephraim. Thanks a lot for leading this amazing candle lighting.
Thank you very much.
See you there. Shabbat Shalom.
Yes.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Mm.